Welcome in to the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always, I mean always, he means always, they mean always, you mean always, she means always, an instant classic.
Danny Dunn! Hi, Jake.
We'll see you on the flippity dippity. Oh yeah.
Oh, that does not get old. Hello,
It goes so well with the song too. Like
that's what I'm saying. I still somewhat like the rock version a lot better, but that one puts a little groove to it because it sounds like we're in the club and we are just the most uncool people in the world. Song and whatever though, like Danny Dogs. I'll see you on the flippity dippity, and then every female in the club is just like. But anyway, hello everyone. Welcome to the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always, and I mean always, he means always, he means always. DJ, if it was here, he would say always an Instant Classic. Tonight, we're going to be doing a little preview of AEW's upcoming pay-per-view tomorrow night, AEW Double or Nothing. Believe it or not, but now that especially AEW, especially this past week, actually had a full house for the first time in, my God, over a year, which actually added to the show. I will say that. Not a bad go home show. Few things that I could have done without, but nonetheless, Eddie Kingston and Moxley got me jacked up for that tag match, which I'm looking forward to it. I'm curious of how Sting and Darby, how that's going to go against Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. So yeah, it's actually on the surface, it doesn't seem like it's that bad of a card, and we're gonna go through each match, give our thoughts and whatnot. But Justin, I'm going to start off with you. Overall, what are you looking forward to the most?
I'm looking forward to see how the Anthony Ogogo and Cody Rhodes match goes, because I've been hearing a lot of people talk about that. I mean, I did like that promo that Cody Rhodes did a few weeks ago. Like I tell you what, he should just go run for president at this point. Go run for president. Like he was like being like all American, and he's the all American Jack Swagger. No. But
but here's the thing: both with the lisp.
Right? Yeah, you're right.
We the people.
But I'm actually looking forward to the show. Besides, like the build hasn't been the greatest for the show. But I mean, it's there's still things to look forward to. Like, I'm excited to see the Karashida and Britt Baker match. That's gonna be pretty good to see. The Stadium Stampede #2, that's gonna be good. But hopefully they don't do any duds on this show. Like have any sparklers or have any dumb crash pad or like. Okay, so not that the spot was dumb. It's like you said, Adam. With Excalibur saying, "Oh, he landed on concrete." Like that. And also, if they would have shot that at a better angle, I would have been, much more satisfied with it. But AEW is getting up to that point where they're getting up there. They're already having some experience, so we can't give them these excuses anymore.
Right.
But no, I'm actually looking forward to this show. I think it's gonna be pretty good because these last few AEW pay-per-views have been pretty good. But like I said, with having 100% fans back in the arena, they need to have let these fans go home happy. Nothing stupid, nothing that insults our intelligence. I just want to enjoy this show.
Yeah, absolutely. And what you just said before, I mean, we're armchair bookers. It's way after the fact, and we can dissect that spot left and right. And again, the spot wasn't bad. It was just the fact that it was we already had an expectation when Excalibur said that's concrete at the floor, and when he fell, it clearly wasn't. But that's the thing. Maybe we didn't have to do those type of spots anymore because not everybody has to have the Mick Foley fall from King of the Ring '98. And again, regardless of our personal feelings, or at least my personal feelings of Jericho, I don't want him to die. I don't want him to get concussed. I don't want him to tear up his elbow like he did. So again, to me, it's just let's not even do that. Let's not do those type of spots at all, because then we will have those weird discussions that most fans were having after that spot happened. Because it was what side of the fence did you love it, or did you think it was stupid? Like, to me, it was just absolutely foolish. But nonetheless, and them going back to Daly's place, or being at Daly's place and having a full crowd, it was so, this past Wednesday was so refreshing, not seeing just the stage the entire time, having different angles. You saw more of the crowd than you did just the stage. It brought that vibe back. So I did think that was cool. Casey, what about you? And you can say, I don't care.
I mean, he can, but he's entitled to his wrong. He's entitled to his wrong opinion.
No. Hey, you said I can't say that, so I won't say that. Instead, I will say I care not. No. Again, as I've said, I don't watch AEW weekly. They just don't have anything that keeps my attention to where I actually want to set aside time to tune in every week. They just don't have anything there. Like I said, I've watched AEW Dark when there's been people that I know on there, but that's because I want to watch them because I support them. And there's a bunch of guys in AEW that I like. It's just the storylines and the booking is so terrible that I can't get into it. But at the end of the day, this is their kind of big show for the year. So I'm hoping for a good show. I'm hoping it's not a complete shit show. There will be some weird fuck ups. It's how AEW is. There's always something weird that goes on, whether it's a stupid spot or it's going to be in the Stadium Stampede. Let's be honest. The ridiculous, dumb stuff is going to be in the Stadium Stampede. It's just, we know this. But from what I looked at on the card, there's a bunch of matches that should be good. And I hope that they are. Right. But at the end of the day, we know who books the show. And he likes some certain illegal substances. That's all I'll say.
We're not speculating. We're not throwing it out there. We're just saying there's certain things he likes to dial into that may not be necessarily not frowned upon.
There's something I want to say. Trying to figure out what their biggest show is. Is it Double or Nothing or is it All Out? Because I'm still trying. They only been around for 2 years now. Is it 2 years? Yeah, they only been around for
2 years.
2 years in October.
2 years in October for Dynamite, but relatively speaking, 2 years overall.
So they only been around for 2 years. I'm still trying to figure out, is Double or Nothing their biggest pay-per-view, or is it All Out? And maybe, because, trying to figure out what their WrestleMania is. And having a main event like Pac versus Orange Cassidy versus Kenny Omega, that's not, something that would be on WrestleMania pay-per-view. Who would buy that? I mean, I guess we did, but you know what I mean.
But no, I know what you're saying, and it's something that we've brought up before. Is again, they try to be different, but again, you see a lot of taste in terms of match selections. In terms of in this instance, because I know they're really trying to boost up. They're trying to really introduce Pac into the fold, and they're really want to boost up Orange Cassidy. But you brought up a good point. WWE, what's the one thing they put every stock into every WrestleMania? Not they don't put any stock into SummerSlam, Rumble, etc. But everything is predicated on WrestleMania. ROH, Final Battle,
or their anniversary show, this year they had
the anniversary show. Correct. New Japan, Wrestle Kingdom, but luckily with Wrestle Kingdom or New Japan, it's 2 shows. Dominion in June, I believe it is. It's something like that, and then obviously early in the year is Wrestle Kingdom. So yeah, they really haven't honed in on which one that they put stock in. I do love the fact that they have it every quarter, every couple of months. That
Mhm.
is sensational. But it's like, yeah, what's your big stock put into? For me, it's All Out.
Yeah.
That's what spawned this whole thing. Casey, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say also, AEW fans in general, like, but they're only 2 years old. They're not established yet in the big picture, in the big sort of ocean that is professional wrestling. Yes, they're the hot thing on the block. They're everyone loves AEW. There's been a lot of companies that have come out real hot and lasted a year or two and eventually folded. And I'm not saying that that's going to happen, and I'm not saying I want that to happen, but I feel like you need to focus on making sure that your company doesn't end that way, rather than like, oh, well, what's our big show? What's our, I don't know.
You just
Also-
said something, and I don't know. You just said something, and I don't know why it made me think. You said the hottest thing on the block. I'm still Tony from the block. Instantly came in my head. Tony Khan, the new J-Lo. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Maybe they're trying to get some more data on, like, okay, so what pay-per-view are people buying more? Like, what pay-per-view are they enjoying more? Is it All Out or is it Double or Nothing? Which I think, like I said, they're getting up to that, like, where they're not rookies anymore. This ain't their first go around, so they need to start.
Rookies. They're still rookies. They're still
They're still learning. They're still learning. But what Justin's saying is they're starting to get out of that honeymoon phase of like, okay, guys, like, we backed you up for a while. You got to start popping stuff up. Stuff's going to happen. Mishaps are going to happen here and there, though. But unfortunately, too many times now, I would say the last 9 or 10 months, there's been a lot of botches that's been happening too close together. So.
Well, and also a little sidebar, their Spanish announcer was just fired for racially insensitive comments towards.
Bravo, sir, for not having self-awareness.
Yeah, so it's like you gotta think about that now too. That one of your employees, obviously they took action and fired him, but still, it's like, why would you have somebody like that on your payroll in general? That unless somehow that was the first time he ever said anything. I highly doubt it. Because if you're gonna make a racist comment like that or a racist joke, odds are that's not the first time you've done it. So.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know why that keeps happening, because that's happened. That's even happened with broadcasters. Joe Buck has said something on a hot mic. A guy that covers the Reds said something that was on the Browns. Said something not last year, but the year before, during the draft season on a hot mic. I don't understand how you could. It's a two-way street, because you can blame the production people, saying like, hey, you're down. Then, hey, whatever you say off air is what you say off air, or whatever. It's a lateral move. Somebody messed up, didn't tell him that he was still alive. But the fact that he had that in mind to say that, and again, for anybody that hasn't seen, the Spanish announcer for AEW during Karushida's promo, or just before Karushida's promo, was basically, they were trying to insinuate who to translate for everybody during her promo, and I shared it to you guys in the room. Justin, I don't know if you saw the video of the guy explaining what happened, them playing the audio, and then the aftermath. And he did. They were speaking in Spanish, and you can tell when he's openly mocking Hikaru Shida's accent right on live air. It was bad. It was bad. So just for anybody that's in production, make sure you all are on the same page so this type of thing doesn't happen. But at the same time, get your head out of your rectum when it comes to stuff like that. Let's get with humanity and not be thinking that way anymore. But anyway, any other thoughts before we start?
Yeah.
All right, let's dive into it. So, in the buy-in, Serena Deeb versus Riho. Is the NWA title on the line,
Yeah, it's for the
Justin?
NWA Women's Championship. Yep. Yep.
Okay. So I'm glad they're at least giving. I'm glad of that relationship that they have with the NWA of talent exchange, of putting them on their TV to garner eyeballs to NWA. And I mean, Serena Deeb is is awesome. Like I've not seen a lot of her stuff from the past, but I just remember Punk and a lot of people praising her big time of her stuff in the past. I mean, again, I saw all the straight edge society stuff. She's great, but this version of her, now that I actually get to see her work, she's incredible, and I think this is a good matchup with Riho that could give her could give them both a little bit of a shine. But just how do you see this going?
I think this is going to be. I think it's going to be a good match, but I definitely think that Serena Deeb is going to retain. And there was at one point where the NWA Women's Championship was getting used more than the AEW Women's Championship, which is kind of sad to say. On their own show they were promoting NWA more, which NWA I have been watching their current product, what's been going on in their shows. Like the only show I really watched this year was like their pay-per-view that this came out with, like it was back in February. So that's like really the only show I watched from them, but I think this is going to be an all right match here. But yeah, Serena Deeb's going to retain.
All right. Casey?
First off, I don't understand because, until you mentioned it, I didn't remember that AEW had an actual women's championship. Couldn't freaking tell you who the champion is. Couldn't tell you who's on the roster. I don't know. I think we were talking about that in the chat a couple days ago about how like I couldn't tell you who's on the AEW women's roster. I couldn't tell you who's on the Impact women's roster because it changes so often, and they don't show them as much as they should. But I feel like, take a page from TNA, Impact, whatever you want to call them. Back when they were NWA TNA, if you're working with NWA, just make a deal with them and call it the NWA AEW Championship. You're using that title more anyway. It just makes sense to do that, and then
Right.
it gets eyes on AEW and NWA, and it helps both of them. But I see Serena Deeb retaining because it is the NWA title, and it's very rare that another company's title changes hands on a different company's show. It does happen, but it's rare, and I just don't see it happening in this one. So
Right, and not to mention too, again, you kind of have to, again, from my viewing of AEW lately, you got to reintroduce Rio to everybody. It would be, to me, it would be counterproductive to bring her back and then get the NWA title. Which, I mean, not that I'm necessarily opposed to that, but I'm just saying, like, to me, like, let's build her back up before we put her in that type of picture again. Like, to me, especially now that this is on the pre-show, this is a good. I like this being. The more I think about it, as me and Justin were talking beforehand, normally they do the battle royale first on the buy-in, and then maybe have a match there. So I actually kind of like this as this is the first thing they're seeing rather than the battle royale just yet. But yeah, I have Serena going over as well. But it should be good, good little match. So what's up next? Yep, there we go. The battle royale. I'm still, for me, the jury's still kind of out on this concept for a battle royal. I get it; it's unique. I think it's a little too convoluted the way that it's presented. I do like the tie-in with it being Double or Nothing, and it's always a very Vegas-y theme. Like it's not necessarily that, but they had
So
that on
don't like
a lot
four
of it on the
people
other
come out
shows.
at once? Don't like four people come out?
Yes, like the old school and WCW Revenge, all the Battle Royale games from the N64 games. 4 guys are in the match, and then a certain uh, card or a suit is drawn, and then a next wave of people come out. It's like I said, it's bizarre on how they go about it.
And of course, they have the Joker, which is the random drawing.
Correct. Just that there is at least some anticipatory things about it, I guess that people get into. But
Which last year, that's when they had that ladder match, and that's where Brian Cage debuted.
Brian Cage, yes.
He debuted as like the Joker or whatever in that ladder match.
Exactly. So who do we got? We got Christian Cage, Matt Sydal, Powerhouse Hobbs, Penta, Jungle Boy, Matt Hardy, Mark Queen, Isaiah Kennedy, The Blade Uno, Colt Cabana, Preston Vance, Griff Harrison, Brian Pillman Jr., Max Caster, Anthony Bowens, QT Marshall, Nick Comorto. I just butchered that. Dustin Rhodes and Lee Johnson. And then on at least on the website, it says to be announced. So that might be another mystery person as a surprise. We shall see.
And then Paul White, he's going to be on commentary, I think, for this match. Which is
yes.
No, he's going to be in the match. He's going to be winning the Battle Royal.
Maybe he does that. He pulls the Jerry Lawler, where he's in the announce booth. It gets to the Joker, and all right, who's the last person? Ha ha! You guys thought you didn't think I would wrestle anymore, and then
heel turn.
Heel turn. No BS, right? No BS.
No BS.
I honestly couldn't put a stamp on who I think should go over. Realistically, just because after they buried the Varsity Blondes last week on Dynamite. To me, this is prime for Brian Pillman Jr. to steal this. But if I had to guess, just because they really want to elevate him, it's going to be Christian. So anyway, that's my stance. Casey?
Had to pause the TV there.
The TV for the vidya.
Yeah, you can't be like DJ and have all this sound in the background.
I got my dishwasher going. Notice how quiet it is. You're not hearing flip flump, flip flump, flip flump, flip flump. DJ, I love you, but come on.
I mean, at least you can't hear those dogs out there. Those neighbor
There's
dogs.
still time. There's still time.
There's still time.
It's coming. It's coming.
It's coming.
I have no earthly idea in this match. So I'm going with BPJ or not Big Show.
I like that. And coming to the ring from Tampa, Florida, not. Well, not the Big Show.
It's not a big bad show to
Justin.
I think it's between Matt Sydal or Christian Cage because they've been really pushing these guys like really hard and stuff. They had a match with them a few weeks ago, and I really feel like they want to really push Christian Cage here. Now, on who I think could be the Joker in this match, maybe they have like a debut in this match. Maybe Andrade shows up because Andrade is going to be having C.R. O'Malley is going to be in the match.
C.R. O'Malley was not requested to join. I have on good authority that is the case. Because
Andrade is going to be having this match with Kenny Omega in AAA, I think, for the AAA Championship.
No, not a AAA at.
Yes. Or
AAA is a battery. Okay, get it right.
AAA battery, yes, exactly. Or what if Daniel Bryan shows up, or Bryan Danielson? I mean, there's been rumors about. I mean, he's out of his contract and stuff, so he can go anywhere he wants to right now.
This is true.
Because it's not like he has that 90-day no compete clause. Like his contract ran out, so he can go to any company right now.
And I don't want to. I don't want to barely in terms of that, because there's a tie-in with him and possible relationship with New Japan and WWE. So I would say
true. Yeah. We'll talk about that.
Into too much.
Yeah. But I'm gonna go with Christian Cage here, and like I don't know. There's like I want them to do like some really good surprises on the show, like really like I wasn't expecting that, So
yeah, absolutely.
And with having 100% capacity back, which it could be a good and a bad thing, because there definitely could be a spike after this, but we'll see what happens, after these shows here. But I mean, it'd be nice to see some surprises here, though.
There will 100% be a spike.
Yeah, more than likely.
Yeah.
Santos, get your shit together. And well, the other thing too, if Christian doesn't win, he didn't outwork everybody. Then he's got to get a new T-shirt. Anyway, on to the next match. Hangman Page versus the Machine, Brian Cage. I think this should be a fun match. The little back and forths that having with Taz the last few weeks, I think have been pretty good, especially Taz, cutting the promo on Hangman after a match. And I mean, this week he got some color against Janela. So that, to me, that visual when they face to face, I thought was really really cool. I don't like how they've been using Page as a whole, like the last 8-9 months. I don't like him with the Dark Order. That's just my personal preference. Which just leads me to my next point. There's too many factions in AEW. Way too many factions. Like, it really should be Dark Order. I would say would be the cutoff. Should be Inner Circle, Pinnacle, and then Dark Order. And really need to repackage the Dark Order, because, I mean, after Brody passed, they became massive baby faces, which is great. But why are you going to call them Dark? Fill in the blank. So, I don't know if they need to eliminate some guys from the package. If it needs to be more just John Silver, Evil, and
you said Long John Silver's.
Long John Silver's, yes, yes. Cue ball. But yeah, I don't know if it's just a repackaging. Like, being that they're baby faces now, they got to do something a little different. But I am going to go with Hangman in this match. I think this will be fun. It'll be hard hitting with a lot of athletic stuff. And I really don't know where they stand. I should say that they're like at a crossroads with Brian Cage. It's just that, like, he's having a very stop and start kind of a feel. They're not really driving home with them. So, I wouldn't be shocked if Brian Cage won, whatever. Though, but like, to me, Adam Page needs this a lot more. Casey, what do you think?
I keep forgetting that I mute myself all the time. But again, I have not been keeping up with AEW's like storylines and stuff, but just the fact that Taz is with Brian Cage, anytime there's a manager, especially a heel manager, I don't see them winning or losing or winning clean. I feel like there's something going on. Just because as a manager, especially a heel manager, why wouldn't you, try to do something to either, help your guy win or stop, the baby face from winning? So something has to happen, I feel like, with Taz in some way, not necessarily getting involved, but like some sort of a distraction or something. Or else why is he out there? It doesn't make sense, especially as a heel, especially with him. Like, he's not going to back down from anybody. He's not afraid of anybody. He's Taz. I don't know how old he is, but he can still kill all of us. So
These are facts. These are facts.
so I'm going with Brian Cage just because of that. I feel like there's something up, something has to be up their sleeve in some way. So I'm going with Mr. Get My Shit In.
Yeah, right. And believe it or not, Peter Sonercha, aka Taz, is 53. Yeah, and he's about to be 54 in a handful of days. Fun little fact. Justin?
Adam Page, his steam has like really cooled off lately. So I think, he needs to get a really big win here. And also there's kind of been some friction, with Team Taz and stuff, with Brian Cage. It was like after Revolution, Brian Cage, went out to go shake Sting's hand. And he goes like, "Hey man, I respect you, even though you are an old man now and stuff." And everybody, Powerhouse Hobbs and like Hook and Taz, they were upset with him. And also, not Taz, Brian Cage, he said he was going to go out there by himself. He doesn't need the rest of Team Taz to help him out in this match here. Yeah, but I'm going to say Adam Page wins. And also, there's a lot of guys, in AEW that names rhyme. Adam Page, Brian Cage, Ethan Page, Christian Cage, like. They'd love to get
a lot of ages.
A lot of ages. And a lot of ages. Oh Lord. Yeah, but I'm gonna go with Adam Page to win here though.
All right. No, and I completely forgot about that little nugget of them being not so full-fledged on screen, whatever, but just a little bit of tension. Like it's let's say Adam Page wins this and has his mother effing him to his face, all that stuff, and Cage just says the hell with it, knocks Taz out, whatever though, knocks out Willie Hobbs, whatever though, could be. Again, this is I've not heard anything or any type of speculation that could happen. Like who knows? Because you got to have a payoff. You don't throw that type of nugget in without wanting him to depart in some way. Eventually down the line.
And also, I feel like they're trying to build up Adam Page to be the person, to eventually take that title off of Kenny Omega. And this is where you start building, build him throughout the summertime, maybe he wins it at, maybe at All Out, or maybe he wins it at Full Gear or whatever, their next, maybe at the next big pay-per-view. But yeah, start building up.
My dog agrees with you. That's weird. But no, and I think I brought that up before. It's like, to me, that's the payoff in my opinion, because Kenny split, Kenny wins the title. You got to have some type of payoff to that, and I would think that would be perfect going into next year, where again you keep Adam Page strong. But yeah, like now you can really start to jumpstart that starting right now, or the next set of TVs to build towards next year.
Because AEW, they love to do their slow burners, with their storylines. They love to keep them dragging out. But WWE that has a hard time doing that, like keeping fans, these days fans' attention spans are very, very short,
I'm sorry, what else is
attention? Precisely. But that's the thing, but when they do it though, Ciampa and Gargano, I know that's NXT, but under that umbrella, Ciampa and Gargano, they built that for a year.
Yeah.
And it sold perfectly. Like it can be done. It can be done. So
if they build it the right way, but yeah.
Yes. But just like let stuff build. Let stuff build. All righty. This one I'm actually really, really looking forward to. Miro, TNT champion versus Murder Hawk, Lance Archer. the way the Miro that I have seen the last couple of weeks, that's the Miro I was expecting when they brought AEW. He's actually got great promos. He's actually being a brute, whatever. He has actually got me hyped for this. And I've always been. There's just been something about Lance Archer that I really liked, especially in his New Japan stuff. Like he single-handedly was one of the most improved characters, if you want to call it that, or at least gimmicks when he was over there. Massive, massive fan of him. And it I will say it was funny when Lance challenged Miro for the TNT title. They're both cutting great promos on each other, but Jake was trying to do the whole "I'm gonna hold you back," but it just looked like he was hugging Lance, like, "Come on, honey, no, come on, let's leave. It's closing time. Let's leave." It's just so weird seeing two guys that are basically nose to each other, because I think people tend to forget Jake's a big boy. Jake is no small man, but
Can I say he's fat? He's fat.
No, say it with your chest. He's fat.
He's fat. He's fat.
He is. He has started to balloon a little bit, Jake. For some reason, I think he said, "I'm good with the yoga, man. I ain't got time to do all them stretches every day. I still got cigarettes to smoke." That sounded like Casey in the voice message he did earlier. Casey did in our little group chat. Casey did a voice message, and it would sound like a cross between Carl from Sling Blade and Bernie Ladd. "Listen here, I'm the real host of this show. Sometimes I just don't want to do it. Sometimes I don't want to do it. I let y'all do this. This is really hard to keep afloat because I get that tickle." Oh, I popped. I said that needs to be C.R. O'Malley's gimmick with the mask on. "Listen here." Listen here.
Listen here. My name is C.R. O'Malley. You listen here, boy. That is really that's it. That's
But it's gold, Jerry. It's gold.
Jerry,
Justin,
why is there a banana on my belly?
Justin, where do you see this going?
I see Miro retaining his style here, just the fact that he just recently won the title. Like, I don't see him flip-flopping. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they give it to Lance Archer. But yeah, unfortunately, Lance Archer, he's going to lose. This is going to be the second Double or Nothing pay-per-view that he's going to lose on, which is, I want them to start using him a little better and actually give him this title eventually. Maybe they could give him it like on a random AEW someday, but I don't think it's his time right now. Let Miro hold the title a little longer.
Yeah, and he's actually getting over with his work in the ring. Like, he's actually being dominant, and he's been cutting good promos. And if you guys want to be different, don't be flip flopping titles like this. Don't let it be a couple week build. Let's put some cred to it. Like, I do think I thought it was a big deal when he beat Darby.
Yeah,
Darby had held it, for a long, long time. So I'm like, all right, like now I think maybe now we're rolling.
And I think he defended it like 9 times, and someone said, "Go like, yeah, Darby Allin like only has like not 9 lives or something like that." I thought that was, pretty interesting. But this is what I wanted to see, like Miro when he first came into AEW. I'm like, yes, I want them to actually make him serious. Then he did that whole little stuff with Kip Sabian, where he was the best man, and they made him look like a joke for a long time. But this is the Miro I wanted to see, though.
Yes, totally agree. And I don't know what they were thinking when they brought him in, because it was copy and paste of the last thing he did in WWE, with whole crashing the wedding thing at Lashley and Lana's wedding. Whatever. This is how you do it. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Miro too. It is gonna be fun to see two big behemoths just beat the tar out of each other. Like, I think this will be a fun match. So, Casey.
But first of all, again, I'm not a regular watcher of AEW. This has been established until they, do something on a regular basis that keeps my attention. But when Brody died, was he not the TNT champion?
He was. Actually, no, he wasn't.
Cody came back. He beat Cody definitively.
Okay.
Cody went away. Then when Cody came back with the black hair, Cody beat him to the title back, and then Cody went back blonde.
Yeah,
which was bizarre.
But I could have swore, I thought they said that they were going to retire the TNT championship in honor of Brody because they made his son like the honorary whatever. What the fuck?
Well, they retired that version of it, like the version that Brody Lee won.
Okay.
Yes.
This is why I hate AEW.
Technicality, but
they retired that version of it.
So dumb.
And then they made a new version, so I don't know.
Well, we're gonna retire that version of your jersey, not the number, that version of your jersey. Anyway, as much as I love Lance Archer, same as Adam, loved him in New Japan. He's always had an awesome, a great, personality, great gimmick. Especially I love anytime he's on commentary. He's super entertaining. I love him on commentary. But I do see Miro winning here because I don't think Lance needs it. I feel like Miro needs it more, especially if they're trying to build him up and, get him to where we always wanted him to be and where he always deserved to be, but he was kind of held back in WWE. So I'm giving it to Miro.
Did you say Lance Hoyt?
Oh, everybody dies. I've stood next to Lance and Harry Smith. I felt like Rey Mysterio next to those gentlemen. They're very, very large men, especially when they were the Killer Elite Squad in New Japan, and Lance is drinking the water and just spitting it on everybody, which does not age well in this day and age. But and I would say there's something. There's just I don't know. Like to me, Lance can be money if pushed properly. He could absolutely be money. He needs to get a new finisher. I will say that the blackout where it's basically like a reverse Razor's Edge and he just flips over. To me, it's like the Razor's Edge version of the FU, or I'm sorry, the Attitude Adjustment. But on to the next match.
Oh, well, let me click it. There we go. There we go.
All right. It's Sting! Coming out of the retirement home. Sting and Darby Allin versus Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. I don't know how much I care about this match. Because much like the Cody and a Go-Go match, it's been a very, very quick, trying to be a very, very quick build for people to care. It seems like it was very put together like the last couple of weeks. Casey, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, I know. I don't care much about this match.
That's why I softened the blow by starting it with it first. This is a match. but like it's just like the way they've used Sting, like he's had run-ins and he's had that street fight that they had with Taz Group at whatever the last paper.
It was Revolution.
Yeah, Revolution. There you go. This is going to be like Sting's first legit in the ring match in, I think they said like 6 years.
Yeah, 6 years. Wait, was that Night of Champions? That was his last match, or Clash of Champions, or whatever.
I believe
it was against like Rollins.
Yeah, because that
Yeah.
was the next spot.
Yeah, when you had that bad buckle bomb in the corner.
Ooh, ooh.
Oh,
Watching that back, especially hearing it from Sting's point of view, and again, he didn't bury Seth. He said, "Look, it was an accident." But watching him after he landed and him just not being able to stand is uncomfortable because you could just see like this guy's fucked up, like majorly messed up. Like we got to
Mm-hmm.
go home. Let's get out of this. But yeah, that sounds about right. About 2015 or so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how to go about this because to me, no outcome benefits either team. Casey's alluded to this before. You bring a legend in, you don't want to bury him, but if the legend goes over in a way, what do it do for the other guys? Like I don't see who this benefits. Like to me, it was just very
I
sprung
mean,
together.
maybe it benefits Darby more than anybody in this match.
Yeah, if he scores the pin, exactly. But yeah, I guess the more I think about it, I'm going to see how this is booked because if Sting gets the decision, the fall, what have you, again, it's like the benefits. Like yeah, this is so based on what we're talking about here. I'm going to say Sting and Darby go over. I am a gigantic fan of Scorpio Sky. I watched him. God, since his championship wrestling from Hollywood, the last few years, I think he's so talented. I didn't like the fact that he just randomly left CU and there was no explanation. Like that was bizarre. Like I'm not objecting to him being a heel. It was just he left and there was kind of no filler on as to why.
He didn't say bye, guys.
But yeah, I don't think he said like Daniels, Kazarian, screw you. I'm out. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go with Darby and Sting. Justin, let's go to you.
Just on the fact that this is Sting's first actually in-ring match, like you said, in 6 years or whatever. Yeah, I definitely think that, and it's gonna be like I said with a whole bunch of fans there and stuff, that they're not gonna make Sting lose here. And also, no one really wanted to see Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page as a tag team. This is like just random. This is like nobody wanted to see him as a tag team. I mean, I didn't mind Scorpio Sky trying to go as like a singles, go for a singles run, try to go for the TNT Championship. Because that match that I had with, was it this year or last year? That I had with Cody. It was last year that I had with Cody was a really good match. So I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Scorpio Sky, do a singles run. And Ethan Page, he's kind of just been really bland ever since he showed up to AEW. Like I really haven't cared about much, and I'm kind of agree with Casey. I really don't care about this match very much. I mean, it doesn't benefit any team in here. But yeah, I'm gonna go say Sting and Darby Allin win here.
Casey.
I love Sting. I've been a huge Sting mark since I was a kid. Since I started watching wrestling around like 97-ish, somewhere around there. And then when I got older, I started watching his older stuff, like, Surfer Sting. And then even before that, I've even watched some of his matches with Ultimate Warrior back when they were a tag team. Not the best.
How bored were you to that?
I was curious, and curiosity was not worth it.
The freedom. Think about this: the freedom fighters.
Yep.
And the Blade Runners.
Yep. Good stuff.
What are we doing?
But again, we've said this before. This is not Sting. This is Steve Borden cosplaying as himself like 20 years ago. It's not. He's not even trying to be Sting. He's just being Steve Borden basically at like Comic-Con signing autographs for people. This is this thing that we have. And I don't see him doing much in this match because he is 62. Like, I honestly see Darby taking most of this match, getting the beat down, getting the shit kicked out of him, and then somehow coming back and winning. That's how I see this booked. Because they have to win. You know, they're the big, you know, team that like, oh, everyone loves Darby and Sting, you know. I believe they were doing a storyline of like how, you know, Darby idolized Sting or whatever, or when he was younger. So like, you can't, if he loses, then he just lost on one of their bigger shows with the guy that he looked up to as a kid, and like, how is that a payoff?
Mhm.
Right.
And you know, I love Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, but they don't need this. I mean, I don't even see why they're a tag team. It doesn't make sense to me.
They go like, "Hey, we don't have anything for you to do, so we're just going to throw you guys in a tag team." Like, way too many tag teams over in AEW. Way too many.
Yeah, well. Not only that, whatever. Even though I do appreciate the fact that they have actual teams with names, matching gear, etc., but they do nothing to make me care of those teams. Like
Exactly.
again, like right now, you have a massive babyface in Brian Pillman Jr., and they just urinated their mouths against the Young Bucks. And plus,
Also,
yeah,
this is what I didn't want them to do when Sting debuted. You know, have him every single week on the show. You know, I wouldn't mind if he, you know, showed up here and there and stuff, you know, on special shows. You know, maybe have 1 or 2 matches and then call it quits. But like, if they, you know, have him at keep having them more, you know, dynamites and stuff. You know, have him compete at the next pay-per-view, you know, all out and stuff. You know, this is what I didn't want them to do because, you know, he's up there in age.
It's not special anymore.
It's not special.
It's not.
Yeah,
it's really not.
It's like John Cena throwing the stairs. You know, like you see it once, it's cool. It's cool. Then you see it 5 more times. You go, like, okay, yeah, I'm over it.
All right, we get it.
We get it. We get it. Super Cena.
Oh God.
Wait, who's that guy throwing? Who's that? I can't see anything. I can't see who's throwing the steps.
The chair is being lifted by an invisible man. How is this possible? that figure is so strong. Anyway, on to the next match. Anthony Ogogo versus Cody Rhodes. And believe it or not, I don't know. I think they just said he's doing it for this show, but I think just for this weekend he is going to be dubbed the American Dream, Cody Rhodes. Which I get it for the tie-in, but I really do hope it's just a one-time thing because there's only one American Dream, and that's Dusty. This like do not have sacrilege to that name. Again, I have to point this out. Cody, get rid of the neck tattoo. It's not a good look. It's not a good look at all. At all. This should be fun. Again, the storyline is a little rushed, but I think, you know, they're trying to have some type of tie-in with him against QT. It's like, you know, like, here, I want you to go against one of my boys. I will say this. The weigh-in that they did on Wednesday, complete disaster. Apparently, Paul has never operated a scale before. And he buried himself by saying, sorry, we didn't have time to order a digital scale. Paul didn't say anything. Don't say. And I do love the fact that Ogogo is, you can see him mouth would go. He says, "You dumb," and he was about to say "effer." He got away because they're like, "Oh, he's about to say something bad." It was just it took forever, and plus here's my thing in this element of wrestling. What does the weigh-in matter? It's not the UFC.
No.
I mean, the UFC the UFC's weigh-in is for that pose where the fighters get those do a little dual stance. I get it. Yeah, yeah. That's right. That's right. What's that new cologne you got on? I like it. Come on. Come on. No, so I get it, but it's just wrestling. Like, what does it matter? What does it matter? And because if it was the setup to QT saying, this is why Anthony Ogogo's gonna win. Cody weighs 18 and my man weighs 219. Okay.
Like, what's your point?
He weighs a pound more, and that's awesome. So, like I said, that was a little clunky, but I do think this will be a good match. Cody's a pro. He knows how to call a match, how to carry a match, and I've not seen a lot in AEW of Anthony Ogogo, so I'm curious to see how he is. Like I'm indifferent, or I haven't seen a lot of him. So I think Cody will carry him through a good match. I will say that Cody goes over in this year. Casey?
Yeah, I don't know Anthony Ogogo at all. Never heard of him. Never seen him on the indies or anything.
But you do have to wake him up before you go. Don't leave me. Oh, sorry.
Wake me up before you go.
That's in my head.
Thank you, Adam.
Is that his?
Ladies and gentlemen, I am the king of the earworm. I did that at the mall last weekend. There was like, oh, could you please punch in your phone number again? And I said 867-539. The lady at the other register says, thanks. That's on my playlist, and I have to play that in my car. It's not going to leave my head for the rest of the day.
Is that his entrance music? Like, wake me up, Anthony Ogogo.
Don't keep hearing me on the show.
I mean, like, I've kind of seen, the factory a little bit. I like Aaron Solo. I think he's really talented. I've out of all of them, I've seen him, before AEW, before he came to AEW. So, like, I kind of have an idea, but I still, Cody. I don't see how Cody doesn't win this match. It doesn't make sense.
Justin?
I'm really intrigued in this match, but like if Cody Rhodes wins, like that's kind of gonna be burying, Anthony Ogogo here and stuff. But then again, like you don't want to shoot Anthony Ogogo like straight off and go like, oh, in a few months, like he's basically nothing. Then like people forget about him. I felt, and also, with Cody Rhodes bringing back the, American Dream, bring that back, and hopefully, like you said, Adam, hopefully it's only for one night, it's a one-time thing. I kind of see Cody Rhodes winning here. Maybe he gets beat down a lot during the match. Anthony Ogogo, has most of the advantage, and then something like a roll up happens, or, something like that. He gets Cody Rhodes, barely escapes. You can still have. You could have Anthony Ogogo look strong, and you could have Cody Rhodes win. So I think that'll be a win-win situation.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like it doesn't hurt you to lose.
Mm-mm.
But like I said, like, and I'm going to keep bringing this up, but like how the Bucks beat Hillman and Griff Garrison, that did nothing for Brian or Griff at all.
Who was their manager with them now? What's her name? Hart. She's part of the Hart family. Yeah,
Jesse Hart. Which I liked that look. They both got kind of like they got the matching gear. Looks like the leggings. She is dressed up like a cheerleader. Hey, I'm all for it. But not to mention they buried her too. They made everybody look stupid in that match. Not to mention you look stupid of a guy selling his eyes, and a guy's holding a can of spray in his hand. How is that not a disqualification?
Right.
If you were going to beat them, have Don Callis get out. Griff and Brian are making a comeback. It looks like they're about to go home, but Don Callis comes out of the announcer's booth and like hooks a leg or something, or one of them blindly catches a super kick. 1, 2, 3. Okay. It's just like, damn it, they were just this close. You completely just dumped on by spraying them in the eye, then putting them in the sharpshooter and having them tap out. What the hell? But anyway, in relation to this, it's always there's a guy that goes over, and then somebody gets over. In this instance, if like you said, if he can, I won't be surprised if he can go blow for Cody, make him look strong. But if he, the last Cody, plants the flag, crossroads 1, 2, 3, cool. Just don't make a go-go look like a fool.
Mm-hmm.
Make him feel like he belongs in the ring with Cody. I'd say that's the focal point to this. So anyway, on to the next one. Here we go. This is the one I'm waiting.
Also, what's wrong with Matt Jackson's face?
Everything.
Here's the thing: the more I look, I can't look away because I don't know. Is Nick touching his nether regions, his nether yaya, as they say on Big Theory, or is he touching his butt? It's like, oh, my brother just touched me. I don't know. I just called him to Jar Jar Binks, but I cannot wait for this match: Young Bucks versus Moxley and Eddie Kingston for the tag team titles. This past week, Moxley and Eddie's promos was gold. I think I shared in the room earlier. It was magic. It's like, who knows? Maybe I'll become an EVP. Maybe Moxley become EVP. I'm like, can you imagine Kingston as the head of anything corporate? I just like that tie-in. But I mean, Moxley killed it with those tag titles are raw T-bone steaks, and we're vicious pit bulls ready to sink our teeth. I'm like, again, that's why I do love the fact that they will let these guys cut promos, looking into the camera, speaking through the camera to the people. They got me bought in. I will say this. I do think Bucks are going to win, but it's one of those things. All of us are paying to see Kingston and Moxley beat their asses. That's the draw. I do like this style of the high flyers and the people that are going to ground pound them. So, but like to me, this is going to be match of the night in my opinion. Like I said, they got me hook, line, and sinker and bought in. That is the match. Casey.
If Kingston and Mox don't win, we riot. That's how it goes, right? Is that
Yes.
how we?
Yes.
Are we going to Florida? Are we going to the show? We should.
Sarah, are we?
No, I thought Justin, you said you bought the tickets.
Oh no, I bought the show. I see. You should have been more clear with me. Like
that's what I thought I was paying for was the ticket. Now you said it was
$10. All right.
And it was 50, so $12.50.
That's how much the tickets are. We're gonna be up in the nosebleeds, so you won't see us.
You said they were front row. You said they were front row tickets.
I mean, I must have. I might need to get my spectacles cleaned. Like I might need to get some new glasses.
No, he meant the front of the balcony.
The front row of the balcony. Yes, that's what I meant.
That's what he meant. Front row of the balcony. That's cool. We can see Darby and Sting walk by. But
I get it because they always sit in the stands, way far away. I get it.
Yeah, the Bucks are gonna win this, and I'm gonna be pissed. I don't want them to win. I don't. I am so tired of the Young Bucks. Like, please get them off my TV.
Me too. Me too. Justin.
I am really looking forward to this match. And, there's something in my gut that's telling me that Moxley and Eddie Kingston are going to win this match here. Like, John Moxley, he's been doing quite a bit of stuff, ever since he lost his AEW championship, which it was back in December. But Eddie Kingston, he hasn't really got much in AEW. He really hasn't got much of anything. And I think, this would be great to put the tag team titles on Moxley and Eddie Kingston. They know each other. They go back, back into the indie days, when they were traveling on the road together. They got so much chemistry with each other. And these promos are so genuine. Like, they were so raw. Like, they're not scripted promos that these guys do. Like, these guys are amazing on the microphone. And I just have something in my gut saying that they're going to become new tag team champions here. And I hope this happens. I really do.
And nothing would make me happier to be wrong. Nothing would make me happy to be wrong.
Don't get me wrong. I like the Young Bucks, but, I'm just getting tired of them, like doing the same stuff every single week, like you can turn down your power a little bit. I get it. You're like they're like, owners of this company and stuff, but you can turn that down just a little bit, just a little bit. Okay. Please. Thank you.
But I do like the fact though, that they are heels now.
Yeah.
They have that perception and vibe. So I'm all for that.
Mm-hmm.
But I just, that's what I'm saying, like, I don't want to be that guy of like give somebody else a chance or all that stuff. It's just like I am burnt out on Buck style matches, because not to mention nothing else that anybody does means anything. Nor when the Bucks are later on the card, everything they do doesn't matter because everybody does the same thing.
Super kick.
Not minus 75 super kicks. The only time I will accept for them doing a bunch of super kicks in the match if they can get Steve Corino on commentary. Super kick. Yeah, but
Indie Taker or Indie Driver.
Yeah, Indie, which is so disingenuous. What did the Undertaker ever do to you?
I wish
but I know what I wish there are things he could do stuff to you that I wish could happen, but that's the point.
This might get me some heat from some AEW fans or marks.
It will.
I'm just gonna be honest. I have never ever been a Young Bucks fan. Never. Not since the first time I saw them in Impact as Generation Me. Never liked them. Never.
Yeah, I didn't really like him as Generation Me, but when they went to Ring of Honor and stuff, when they were Matt and Nick Jackson,
still didn't like them.
When they were part of the Bullet Club, and everybody loved the Bullet Club. Everybody and their mother, wore a Bullet Club T-shirt.
I like the Bullet Club, it's not them.
And literally, Young Bucks' mother wears a Bullet Club shirt. And I've kind of been in the same category too. It's like I get the popularity. I really do. I really get the popularity. And again, I met those guys before a Ring of Honor show at a meet and greet thing. Talked for a few minutes. Really nice guys. Their viewpoints on some things is very highly questionable. Nonetheless, real nice guys. Like I said, I got a picture. I got a picture of those guys. I'll send it to you guys in the chat, whatever. Though, let me just say this: I'm taller than Matt Jackson. I just want people to realize this. But
wait, how tall are you?
I'm 5'10".
Jeepers.
No, and granted, it's like that much, but nonetheless, it's like 3/4 of an inch. I'm like, and don't you forget it. Dang it, I'm taller than him. And Nick wasn't that much taller than me, whatever. But so like I said, I get the popularity of them. It's just, and it's not like these guys are chiseled out of granite. They always build them at 397 pounds. You can't work it and say they're 4'10", 4'15". At least give the illusion that these guys are at least 200 pounds, and no one will bat an eye. But I'm just like, oh, you're insinuating they both weigh $190. not $1.90. I'm just like, come on. Yeah,
A,
but anyway,
a buck, you know, they're young bucks.
a young $1.90.
A young buck.
$1.90.
A young buck.
Anyway, I digress. So let's on to the next matchy match. So, and I would have, yeah, I can't think of anything else on this. I believe this will be your main event.
No, we got the Stadium Stampede, which I think this match is going to be the co-main event because I do not want to see this as the main event here. I don't.
Well, the story of the Inner Circle and the Pinnacle is more important than this, than the world title for sure. No, so yeah, how can I forget that? But anyway, Kenny Omega versus Pac versus my little dog Pockets, Orange Cassidy.
You show this man some respect.
Some respect.
Put some respect on his name.
I would rather it be either or, not a triple threat. I want to see Kenny versus Pac more than I want to see Kenny versus Orange Cassidy, but the way that they book Orange, we'll take a peek of just Orange versus Kenny. I just like we're trying to be different, but we're doing. They don't do it a whole lot. I will say that, but we're borrowing, copying from another company. And believe it or not, apparently old Uncle Dave Meltzer, and I know he probably has had this before, so I'm breaking new ground here, but he did say, if you want people to care about a triple threat match, make it elimination. So at least it guarantees that the champion gets beat. Whether it would be eats the first fall or takes the final fall. We have to do something different to get people to care about multi-man matches. I wish we would do them less across all companies, not just AEW, not just WWE, all companies. It's a booking crutch. We can see through the participants we can see who's going to eat the fall. Like, I think we pretty much can see here that I would think that
Orange
Cassidy is going to eat the fall because they've been having them in close proximity to each other the last few weeks. But I think for what's it'll be a fun AEW style match for that fan base. I'm not completely dumping on it. I don't have an expectation for this because I know what I'm going to see per se. But Kenny retains one wing angel, Cassidy, boom. That'll protect Pac. I'm sorry, I'm saying Pac. Justin, let's go to you.
There's no way that Kenny Omega is losing his championship here. What's that? Oh, yeah. I mean, there's no way. I mean, I wouldn't mind to see him lose, though. That'd be a really big surprise if he would lose here. Like Adam said, these multi-man matches are like booking crutches. He's going to take the pinfall here. Like, multi-man matches, like you said, they're way overdone in every company. But yeah, Kenny Omega is definitely going to retain the title here, and yeah, Kenny Omega is winning. I mean, I would like to see Pac get the title, but I mean, Orange Cassidy, I don't know if he'll ever. I mean, maybe he might get the Kofi treatment. Maybe like, get surprised out of nowhere. But yeah, Omega is retaining the title here, and who knows? Maybe
Omega.
Go ahead. And then who knows? Maybe after this match, maybe he gets someone. He comes out and confronts him. Like Moose, because I heard that Moose was going to be at the show.
It's true.
Because at the next Impact special, they're going to have Moose versus Omega, which I hope that Moose takes the title off of Omega, or if somebody else shows up in Impact and stuff. I got some other speculations for that, but maybe Andrade shows up. That'd be pretty cool because they have their match coming up. Or Dan O'Brien, what if he showed up here? That'd be pretty cool. But
I would be giddy as a schoolgirl.
but I really don't
I
see
would be
that.
shocked. I would be shocked, but
because I kind of see a big confrontation happening like after this match or during this match. I think the most logical pick is Moose because and I want them to start actually because I feel like this AEW and Impact relationship it hasn't really helped out Impact that much. It's benefited with it really hasn't benefited any company. And we'll talk about eventually when we do our discussion on that whole WWE and New Japan thing. We'll talk about what we think benefits more from this. But I want them to start with doing better with this whole Impact and AEW partnership because it's been really lackluster. Who have they brought over to Impact? They brought they brought Omega over there and they brought Private Party. That's about all. Nobody, and then nobody came over from Impact to AEW. Like that's what I thought was going to be happening. I thought maybe Deonna Purrazzo would show up, or like Rich Swann, or
that's a good like
only the Good Brothers have shown up.
Yeah, exactly. And I was going to say, so a tag team and a couple other. I thought that was the point of all this, almost like a territory talent exchange thing. It's what ECW and WWF was doing back in the day. Was like, hey, we'll give you X, Y, and Z if we can get blah blah blah. That's old school. Hey, Waldo Von Erich. Hey, I really need such and such for this weekend at Madison Square Garden. I got you, Vince. Okay, hey man, thanks. I'll give you a few dates with Andre. Simple. You didn't get that pull because I wouldn't mind seeing a couple of guys. I don't want to necessarily say the underneath guys, but some named guys go over to Impact and bring viewers to there. It's been a small breadcrumb amount of guys that have flip flopped. I would fucking dig it if Rich Swann was on Dynamite one night. It'd be a fun match. Whoever they do,
or Sam Callahan, or anybody.
Seriously, but you mentioned Moose. I think I brought that up on your and DJ's review or retro review of something.
Yeah, it was our review for that Under Siege at that pay-per-view.
Yeah, I was going to say it was for something that had just happened, and like to me that makes the most logical. Kenny goes over with his bent body, and then all of a sudden you hear Moose's music comes out, and he confronts him because that's the next match for those guys for the Impact title, correct?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, so boom, there's your sell job to order that show. So, and going back, we were talking about earlier with Orange Cassidy being involved in this match and this threat. Bookers will they will give you the logic of this puts more stars in the match. But again, we see through that. It's like yes, it is Roman Reigns versus Edge versus Daniel Bryan, but like why make it so convoluted? That was for the specific fact that for that spot of Roman throwing both guys on top of each other and pinning them. So again, it does in the other matches. A lot of times, the lesser of the perceived people eat the fall. So like I said, it's a booking crush. You need to slowly fizzle that out. Whatever that's doing sparingly. And Orange Cassidy's already over. He don't need a title. He sells a bunch of merch. He's over that crowd. Like even if he loses every single match, he's over with that fan base. You don't have to do a lot with him. Just him being there, sends everybody home every day. So anyway.
And there's one more thing I want to add. And the partnership that has kind of been paying off is the one with Impact and New Japan, because they brought over Finn Juice. Who else did they bring over? They brought he's part of the Bull Club. Oh, I can't think of his name right now.
I know who you're talking about.
El Phantasmo.
El Phantasmo, that's right.
And they recently brought over Kojima, Satoshi Kojima. So I feel like that they've been kind of benefiting from that a little bit more. But we'll talk about more a little bit about these partnerships later on.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll dive in with more fleshed out thoughts on that. But Casey, what do you see in this here matcheroo?
Well,
Nights I get to stay up late with Kenny Omega while I masturbate.
Good night, everybody. Yes.
Oh, see.
Yes, it made it on the show. It made it on the show. That's why I keep you on the show.
I had that.
Come in, Mom. Don't come in. I changed the Wi-Fi password. Oh no!
What are you doing in there? Drugs.
Drugs.
Mom, why'd you change the Wi-Fi password? We're not keeping it as I love Kenny Omega. Anyway,
Yes.
I hate the fact that I know Kenny's gonna win this. Kenny, what is ring psychology, Omega? I
Literally the basics of every professional
can't.
wrestler.
I can't. After that, I can't take him seriously. I cannot do it. I'm sorry. Literally the bedrock of what professional wrestling
Oh
is.
my god! Oh my god! The jobber finally made it to the chat. DJ Bizzle. You know what I realized? You know what I just realized? I have not stated what DJ's predictions were for the night.
Well, guess what?
And I forgot to bring that up.
Well, guess what? His predictions don't matter.
DJ, the link's in the chat. Get in here.
I mean, he could just join because he already has creative control. I mean, everybody has creative control now.
Come on, boy. Come on, boy.
Hey, we got to restart the video. Okay. Welcome back to the Instant Classic.
Welcome back to the Instant Classic podcast.
We're not moving on until DJ gets in here. Just wait.
Hey, he says, "Hey, shut your mouth."
You shut your mouth.
Can you dig it, sucker?
Sucker. Wait, real quick, just because he said Serena Deeb. Have we talked about the women's title? Not
No.
the.
No, we haven't talked about that one yet.
We talked about that. Okay, so Serena Deeb, Cody. He says that Christian's going to win the Battle Royal and the Bucks so far, based on what we said. He says Kenny's going to win the triple threat.
Okay.
So DJ, I'm sorry. I asked you, and I completely forgot. That's two things today. I'm
This is why we can't have nice things.
This is why we cannot have nothing. I'm unlike Snitsky. It was my fault. It really was my fault. So on to, I guess, I was going to say that I would say the next match would be for the women's title. So yeah. So Kushida versus Dr. Britt Baker. And according to DJ, he says he's going to try to hop on. I'll believe it when I see it. This match, I think now is the time. Now is the time. Let's go with Dr. Britt Baker. Now is the time, for God's sakes. I don't like the fact that she bled buckets to Thunder Rosa and she's getting the title shot, but nonetheless, this is the card for now. Time to go with Britt Baker. please AEW, go with Baker. She got a massive reaction on Wednesday when they were doing the little tip of Kushida for holding the title for a year, which is great. That's the longest reigning title in AEW right now, and they presented her. I do like the new belt. The new belt looks really cool.
Yeah,
the
old belt looked like a
Walmart
kid's belt.
look. Exactly. This one that looks like this feels like a championship. And Britt Baker came out and she got a massive pop from the audience. And I think now needs to be the change of the garb. So please Bucks, please Omega, one of your girls has to lose. Let's get her over, baby, if you will. So, Casey.
I'm going with Britt Baker. Baby.
I like it. Justin?
Hikaru Shida's title reign has kind of reminded me of what Asuka's reign was kind of like. Kind of bland, she barely defended the title and stuff. Sometimes I forgot that she was even.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put Justin on the echo train there, but I made it.
But her title reign hasn't been very good. Sometimes I even forgot and go like, oh yeah, she is the AEW Women's Champion. And I tell you what, if they make Britt Baker lose here, I have no faith. I have no faith in this women's division, which this women's division has been getting better. It's crazy. I kind of have a little faith. After that match we saw with, the best women's match they had in AEW was that lights out match between Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa. That's the best match, which that's kind of crazy saying right now. That's the best match that happened for the women in AEW.
But here's the thing.
The match that they then congratulated the heel afterwards, and we were like, "What the fuck?"
That is bad booking psychology.
Here's my thing. You said that was the best match that they've had. Why they have to do all of that? And I hate to be a Jim Cornette here, but why they have to do all of that to make that the best match they could have?
I mean, they didn't have to. If they could put on
but my thing is, they didn't have to, but that's what it became. So
they wanted to prove that they can be hardcore as well. So again, it really was Thunder Rosa versus Engage. So.
Yeah, it's terrible. They need to pull the trigger on Britt Baker here, and like I said, their women's division has has gotten better and stuff. And it's kind of crazy. This Tay Conte got a title shot before Britt Baker, and I like Tay Conte. Okay, I like her, but she got a title shot before her.
Don't be saying you like her just because you look at her Instagram. Come on, she's a great talent. Don't get me wrong.
She is a great talent.
She does have a great Instagram.
Justin,
I'm doing drugs. Don't do drugs, kids. But no, Britt Baker's definitely Britt Baker's definitely winning the championship here. But yeah,
there we go. I'll mention since you decided to come on, DJ. What say you, kind sir?
I haven't said in a while. That used to be my thing. Casey knows. It used to be my thing all the time. But I think they gotta pull the trigger. Oh, that's not pulling the trigger at all. But anyway, they gotta
pull the arrow.
I think they need to pull the trigger.
They gotta pull the trigger on Britt Baker. I think now. I think she's been red hot for a while. A lot of people have liked her. I mean, of course, she was injured, so that kind of hurt her a little bit. But they still continue to build her regardless. So I think I think that she's the right move here. I think she has to be. There's no other way. I don't think Shida has gotten boring to me, and I didn't like Shida in the first place. Not that I don't think she's talented. AEW hasn't done a good job of making me interested in her.
Exactly. She has not had any great opponents.
I mean, who is she?
In general,
I mean, Nyla Rose. Didn't she face Nyla Rose a few times? Yeah, she did, which I wasn't interested in that.
Well, that
And
depends
then-
on if they want to actually build Nyla Rose, because I mean, we talked about it the last AEW thing we did.
she should
Well,
have
dang on it.
been the first champ.
They freaking this, like, it's crazy. They paired her with Vicky. You get her red hot. Finally, you get Nyla Rose some actual credence a little bit, and she gets a little bit of credit. And then you're like, oh yeah, so about that title shot that you deserve, and that title win that you deserve, we're not gonna give it to you.
No,
because logic.
Yeah, why not logic? Casey.
What was the match again?
Hikaru Shida and Britt
Hikaru
Baker.
Shida versus Dr. Britt Baker. But really, it's just they're going to scrap this, and it's going to be Zack Sabre Jr. and Ibushi.
So how it's going to happen is they're going to be say, ladies and gentlemen, Britt Baker could not make the show tonight, so we have replaced this match with Zack Sabre Jr. versus Kata Ibushi.
Yes.
I'll be there tomorrow night doing that. Not live because I don't want to actually be there and be around all the people in the COVID. But I'm sending the video.
I was gonna say, did you see that? Did you see that? I forgot about that. That is Nia Jax on top of Britt Baker. I saw that.
Wait, when was Britt Baker at WWE?
WWE posted that, by the way.
Yeah, and WWE posted that. Yeah, so this had to have been like 17 or 18. Just there, again, to job out when they brought her up.
Whoever the social media guy is deserves a raise.
By the way, that's the media guys going. Gotcha.
I think I already picked this one, Britt Baker.
Baby.
Britt the Baker. Is she gonna break as a cake or what? Sorry, that was a Justin joke. That was definitely something Justin would have said.
It should have stayed a Justin joke.
Dr. Britt Baker.
And she's gonna clean your teeth because she's a dentist. Is she actually?
Yes. She's a shoot dentist.
Well, guess what?
That would be the promo that I would cut if I was her manager. She's gonna brush your teeth.
she's gonna rape you for the plaque that you are.
Gingivitis.
She's gonna
gingivitis. If you move. I
am going. If you move,
plaque.
You've had cavities, not in the past, but in the recent. God, Thunderbolt Patterson is Dr. Britt Baker. I need this in my life.
Oh man.
It's up there with Avocados from Mexico. Oh, well, I will say this. One more thing on the Thunder Rosa Britt Baker match. Not only why do they have to have that match, why do they have to have that match on free TV? I would pay to see that on a pay-per-view with that type of gimmick match. You did it on Dynamite. It's the same thing with the Inner Circle and Pinnacle with the Blood and match. Why?
When you're gonna have another match between them?
Yes, like the heels won.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Anyway. Speaking
I guess
of which,
also why couldn't with the cage and stuff? Why did they have to tape one? Like, could they not lower the cage down and stuff? Or can't they put a contraption like NXT does? You know how they kind of bring down the sides or something like that.
What do you mean? They don't want to be like NXT, but also exactly like NXT. You know what AEW is.
I mean, again, the cage match has already been ruined to begin with. Just because
True.
If you have a cage. No one is supposed to get out.
Right.
But the companies have learned from the Sid spot of Brian Pillman. If you've never seen that spot, I'd say go watch it. But if you have a weak stomach, don't watch it, because he power bombs Brian Pillman twice, trying to lift him up for the power bomb, and Brian's head fucking hits the top.
Well, hits the top of the cage. Yeah,
falls
terrible.
directly on the back of his head. And he goes, "Oh, my bad, Brian. When we get the spot in, let me do it again." And power bombs him again. So I don't mind if they have the high top or no top at all, but I see what you're saying. It was very distracting having all that space with that big of a cage. It looked cool, but it was a little. There was no. To me, it didn't have any immediacy of danger. Plus, why do you need weapons in a War Games match?
Right. Also, that's what DJ's gonna do. If Casey says the MT word, which I'm not gonna say that here. That's what he's gonna do. That's what he's gonna do.
Did you mean a name that starts with
a name? MT. Yeah, the initials MT. Yeah, we want to say Casey?
M to the T, M to the
Michael.
T, M.
Short. No, that's a J. Michael Scott. No, that's an S. Michael Hava, baby.
DJ, super kick him.
Right.
Get up and super kick your camera.
All right, cue Nick Gage. He's coming. He's on his way.
Nick Gage, mother. Anyway, speaking of the Inner Circle and the Pinnacle, on to the main event: Stadium Stampede. Inner Circle versus the Pinnacle. I know AEW fans will say this is going to be fun. It's going to be. Listen, DJ Cage, just
do it.
I'm not going to hurt myself for you saying something stupid.
All right. Well, then go get a light tube.
No.
That's for Casey.
No.
I'm sending them to Casey's house now as we speak.
Hey, we're
Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime, actually.
I don't even like going through that aisle in a hardware store because I've seen too much shit.
You're afraid that Nick Gage is lying in the weeds like, let him get this light tube. That's mine, mother.
He died for 7 minutes. He was dead for 7 minutes.
And we're gonna watch that and we're gonna watch it.
And here's the thing: that is not 7 minutes in heaven. I would just say that is not what that's supposed to be. Hey Nick, you want to play 7 minutes in heaven? Yeah. But anyway, no. So I know AEW fans will say this will be very fun and all that jazz. But after the Stadium Stampede last year, I just had shame at the concept of this. This is right across the lot from Bailey's place. You can't do comedy in this match. Can't. This is supposed to be a gigantic blood feud. These two just hate each other. Newborn babyface team and a new team with the leader just turning on you, a month and a half ago. This is supposed to be pure. This needs to be the ultimate blow off because the stipulation is if Inner Circle loses, they have to disband. Now, unfortunately, WWE has ruined stipulation matches because when's the last time they actually stick to their stipulations?
I mean, I'll give one thing to AEW. When they said that Cody Rhodes can't compete for the AEW championship, they kind of been sticking to that. They've been sticking to that. I'll give AEW that.
True. Correct. Which I thought that was shooting yourself in the foot, because Cody should be one of your main guys to focus on. I'm not saying he has to be in the title picture the whole time, but like that kind of like limits you of what you can do with him. I mean, unless that was his call. Like, I never want to go for the title. I want to be one of the names, but I don't want to be constantly in the title picture, which I'm all for. But to me, if I'm going to have Cody Rhodes, I'm going to put in that intersplicing with other talent, but regardless. But yeah, this is again, this needs to be what a future be. This is going to be the blow off. Because I think they're kind of spoon feeding us that Inner Circle's going to win, because now that they're faces, they want to flesh this out more, and Circle's not going anywhere. But at the same time, I almost want Inner Circle to lose, because again, like what else is there to do after this match? Mm-hmm. It's again, what's the next? What, you're just going to have a regular match? That doesn't make any sense. Let these guys disband and let these guys over their own. I'm more interested now with Santana and Ortiz just as a tag team. Sammy Guevara is getting the most over out of this bunch. Make him your good looking, almost Von Erich style babyface. Let him be the type of guy. And I'm sorry, Jake Hager's a loss. They have done zero to make me care about him. Absolutely nothing. Like kept teasing him and Wardlow, which we'll see that in this match. But in terms of them going against each other, everything always in the group setting. The flow of this booking of how these guys were going against each other was irrational. All of a sudden, it's spoon fed that Jericho's going to get kicked out and MJF's going to take over the Inner Circle. But they went the other way and say MJF this whole time has been forming his own team, his own group, and all that stuff. And they had Spears, Tully, and FTR. They did not cross paths at all. They just showed up. But as a package, visually, they look awesome. They look like they belong. But it just was completely. It was a Vince Russo swerve face for the sake of a swerve. It didn't make any sense. So this is where kind of the booking style of AEW frustrates me, because this on paper, you just look at the names. On paper, this could be great. Bye, Casey. Like on paper, this looks like it could be awesome, but how they got there was a little clunky. But I'm gonna say the Inner Circle wins, just because I just had that thing that's going to go. Hi, welcome back, sir.
Howdy there.
Howdy there, partner. I just feel that's where they're going to go, which again it's 50-50 booking. It's stupid, and I just don't know where they're going to go from there. But I think that the fan base is going to push the Inner Circle to win, and I think that they're listening to the audience. Do that. Personally, I want the Pinnacle to win, but that's just me. But I will say the Inner Circle. Casey, let's start with you.
You didn't know what match we're on.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm just waiting for all the stupid spots and ridiculousness, and Sammy Guevara getting run over with a golf cart probably again, because this is the dumb stuff that they do, and then they're like, "Why don't people take us seriously? We want to be."
He's gonna get clotheslined by Tim Tebow.
Yeah, the tight end Tim Tebow. I can't. What is 2021 anymore? I don't know. Like, I guess Inner Circle, because I don't really care, to be honest. I just want to see how they screw up and how AEW fans try to like justify it and then say, well, WWE did this.
I would like to point out, which you're absolutely right. I would like to point out they did a hospitalization angle on Wednesday, and we're just supposed to. Naturally, I take it back. That on Wednesday. Last night they did this. They're preempted through June because of the NBA playoffs. I think, but they're going to be on Fridays for the month of June. But they did this celebration where, let's look back, which I find they did this package of stuff from the past with the Inner Circle, and it's all heel stuff and like 20 seconds of babyface material. It's so bad. I mean, sure, all right, because they're trying to give the implication like this could be the last time you see the Inner Circle, which okay, whatever. But anyway, MJF comes on screen and says, "Oh, what great! That was so touching, Chris," and blah blah blah. And they had Dean Malenko tied to the goalpost, and they said, "You better come out here before I turn the ice. It's ice cold or whatever the hell he said." Inner Circle goes chasing them. They get jumped by the Pinnacle, right onto the field.
Also,
FDR,
how did they get there that quick? Like
lightning quick. They're Super Saiyans in the COVID environment. Super Saiyans. FTR took Santana Ortiz, lift them up for pile drivers, jumped off this little balcony into tables.
yeah.
And MJF gave Jericho a pile driver on a chair, and then Wardlow gave Jake Hager a move, I assume a pile driver on the chair. So literally, you broke these guys' necks, but they're supposed to just be there ready to go tomorrow. So you do that weeks ago. You don't do that on the Go Home show.
No.
Even if you end on some type of chaos. I'm sorry. But anyway, DJ.
Well, I thought for a while that I was going to go with the Pinnacle. But then if the Inner Circle are going to break up, I'm still going with the Pinnacle. Because I've thought about this at length for the last couple of seconds here. And I feel like the Pinnacle should win just because it makes more sense. I feel like the Inner Circle's kind of ran its course. It's been there forever. It seems like, at least. Why not break them up and give everybody else a chance to do some things on their own? Give Chris a chance to do something different. Give not Wardlow, he's in the other one. The other guys, Jake Hager and all those other guys. Guevara, I can't remember the other one. Who's the other guy?
Santana Ortiz.
Yeah, LAX. Let them do their own thing. Just
Pride
instead of having them, because I feel like at this point, because it's ran its course, they're almost like bringing each other down in a way. Like LAX is just kind of there at times. Hager's just kind of there. I mean, they're all just kind of there. The feud's been cool, but I think they've just been together for so long that it doesn't even matter at this point. It's just not even enjoyable or exciting, I feel like, at this point sometimes. So I think this needs to happen just for the freshness of it, just to kind of, clean slate, and let's see what's next. So the Pinnacle wins this match, but it would be weird for them to just entirely destroy the Inner Circle, basically off the face of the earth, since they won the previous match too. So that would be a little bit weird, and that's why I was kind of like maybe the Inner Circle would win this, but they've been teasing the breakup for so long. They swerved us before, and you might as well give it to us now, I think.
Justin?
I think this is going to be a really good match. And, I hope they kind of implement, how they used to back in the Attitude Era and stuff, during the Ruthless Aggression, like with their Falls Count Anywhere matches, where where wrestlers be fighting in the crowd and stuff, they'll be going near the concession stand, some fan be at the concession stand, getting a hot dog or something. You see the wrestlers up there go like, "Oh yeah, dude, this is awesome." I kind of want to see that implemented, them seeing fighting to the crowd and all that.
Falls count slightly outside of the ring.
They do because it's State Stampede. I I just don't want to see all the hokey stuff that they did like last year, like with the 100-yard was it the Northern Light suplex with the Young Bucks, like, and of course, this is the Inner Circle, and is Inner Circle versus the Pinnacle, not the Inner Circle versus the Elite. Matt Hardy's on this match where he changed his. Right. But I thought that was pretty interesting last year, how when he got his head dunked in the water and then he changed his gimmicks and all that, which that was pretty cool.
That's insulting. I'm just gonna say that was freaking insulting. It's the same thing when they did the teleportation where, oh my God, he's teleporting. You can clearly see Chris Jericho slightly being edited through each jump shot. I don't know. That's just me. I'm sorry. Continue.
And the golf cart spot. Hopefully, I just don't want to see anything hokey happening. I just want to see, because these guys have
Well, they're in Florida, not Virginia Tech.
But this is supposed to be like a blood feud between them. They want to kill each other and stuff. But then again, I don't want to see somebody actually get killed, so I want to see him do it safely. I don't want to see any dumb like crash pads or anything. But at the same time, we don't want to see him die. Like, I don't know. I just don't know.
What do you want?
What do you?
When do you want it?
I mean, I don't want them to die, but I want them to do it safely.
It's not that.
What does everybody want?
It's not. It's not that I want them to die.
CZ Dub.
I just
CZ
want
Dub.
them not to be alive anymore.
Yeah, the way that Adam put it. Yeah, that's a great way that Adam put it. And no, but I think it's gonna be a good match though. But no, I feel like the Inner Circle is gonna win here just on the fact what happened on the Go Home show with them kind of getting buried here a little bit. And I feel like Adam said, they do that 50-50 booking, and I feel like eventually maybe on an AEW, then this might break up the Inner Circle or something.
Because I had a buried alive match on the Go Home show. I didn't see it.
Yeah, they did. You didn't see him going through those tables. They got buried alive.
Was
the New Day under them?
No, it's the Jacksonville, and also I don't want to see the Jacksonville Jaguar cheerleaders and like them wearing a whole bunch of those jerseys also.
What kind of a man doesn't want to see cheerleaders?
No, I want to see cheerleaders, but I don't want to see him. I didn't mind it for last year, but I don't want to see him in this year's match. Because, like I said, it's supposed to be a blood feud.
You don't want to. Yeah, you don't want to see a bunch of Gaga. Like again,
bust them open. Oh,
let's let this be a fight. Again, don't, like I said, don't do the the yard marker thing over somebody. Like none of that. And like I said, everybody was raved about it. I thought last. I talked to Casey nonstop for a couple of days about that. I said that was one of the biggest pieces of shit I have
DJ
ever seen. He gave the mascot the Judas effect. Jericho did. I'm like, DJ, why?
After this match, let's go watch that match there really quick, guys. I want to see your reaction on that match.
Because he does this when Kenny does the Winged Angel off the balcony into the crash pad, which again, I'm not saying he has to die, but it's so it's so telegraphed and so predictable. It's like, okay, they're obviously going to do that type of spot. Oh, freaking Matt or Nick Jackson went like yards up the stadium and ran down all the way to the end and didn't even get like a one like on the move hop. He had to stop and then hop up.
Yeah, did the yep. And also with the 100-yard Northern Light suplex, like also, I want to see somebody go up to the top of the stadium and just friggin' jump off. Just jump off.
Or somebody die, but I want them to die, but I don't want them to die. But I want them to die.
Or somebody get tossed down the stadium.
Or do the Foley spot in the empty arena match with The Rock where he gets knocked down and he goes plung. But no, yeah, I think we're all like in agreement here. It's like if I know Jericho, there's going to be a tad bit Gaga thrown in the mix.
Mhm.
But I think he's a smart enough guy to know that this is a blood feud. It's like you guys
Mhm.
have you almost killed each other in blood and guts match. You almost died this past Wednesday. You can't do a bunch of grade schoolyard BS in this match. Like
Mhm.
let this be a fight. Although one thing that got over with me last year in the Stampede match was Sammy Guevara's cardio.
Oh
He did a
yeah.
lot of running from the cart, from the horse.
The horse. Yes.
Stay. Anyway,
That was funny.
Justin, do you have more?
No, but yeah, like I said, I got the inner circle win here, and I feel like eventually they're gonna break him up though. Like I don't know when, and I heard that Jericho's gonna be going back on tour with his band Fozzy here. I mean, they did drop they dropped a new single for their upcoming album here.
Right.
So.
Well, yeah, and that's why I'm so conflicted on this, whatever, because the way the booking has been going, you would think the Pinnacle goes over. Just because of the type of matches that they have, but there can be legs to this feud, but they've literally are doing 2 back-to-back blow-off matches. So I'm just kind of like I don't know what else is there to do, but I just have a weird feeling they're going to have them go over the happy-go-lucky, let's send them home happy type of vibe. Who knows? Like if the Pinnacle wins, I'll be elated because I want the Inner Circle, I want them all to do their own things, like DJ said. Let them all get over on their own. They need to beef up certain parts of their card, but like again, Wardlow could have a feud eventually with Lance Archer. Jake Hager. I guess I don't know what you do with him. Let him go away for a little bit, come back and book him strong. I don't know. The tag team division needs Santana and Ortiz. For sure.
Sammy can go after the world. Sammy can go after the world title, or the team. At first, have him go after the TNT title, and then kind of build him up to the world title.
Yeah, but just get him over.
Yes,
get him over.
Get him over. Mm-hmm.
But anyway, anybody have any final thoughts of the show coming up?
I hope
DJ, above all, yes, we hope this.
DJ,
this is good.
Give me your overall thoughts, DJ.
Overall thoughts. I'm interested in the show and how it's going to go. I'm kind of excited, to be honest, a little bit.
No, this is the review right here. We do the review, and then we.
Yeah. So this show was is alright. It's alright. The matches was kind of good. Okay, sometimes. Kenny sucks. What else? What else was there? The Bucks was alright. The Bucks did pretty good. They did pretty good.
They were very young.
That pinnacle, that pinnacle, they was good, that pinnacle, and that main event, that Zack Sabre Jr. versus Kata at Bush. I mean, that burned the house down, slow it down.
Yes. You gotta say it with your chest.
I ain't got enough left in me to say it, but let me try. Hold up. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Kata.
It's got to be all the way down from your ball sack up to your chest.
I ain't got that much energy, Casey. I ain't got that much energy right now. So at the review, I'll build it up. I'm going to build it up from now. All right. So I'm going to hold my breath until the review. So if I don't make it, I probably die because I held my breath too long. But I'm going to hold my breath up until that time. And then, I got it.
Kenny, by God. Omega.
No, he does not deserve that.
By the way, no 69ing from Callis and Omega, please. Anyway, that will do it. I believe that should wrap it up for us. DJ, thank you for hopping on and let me try this here hosting thing out. But
better than Casey.
But anyway, as always, you like and follow us on our Facebook page, our YouTube page. Find us on TikTok I've been trying to splice in some clips from our various shows on there so you get an idea of what it sounds like if you are lucky enough to watch it on here or if you're listening to us. But that's Justin. Where is he? Where is he? I can never get down here. Down there, cat corner for me is Casey. Below me is DJ. Thank you all very much. You can find us on Apple, Anchor, Spotify, Snapple, Ankle, all that good stuff. He said, she said, he said, we said. Anyway, but that is going to do it for us, and we will see you all next time. Our next topic is probably we're gonna have a discussion on the possible New Japan WWE relationship and how that stands and how some people are delusional in thinking that.
By the way, Women's Revolution video coming up next week too, sometime next week.
Yes, and we're gonna show why DJ is wrong. But anyway, we're gonna do discussion on the possible relationship there and how some people are delusional in thinking that just because they've been in talks since March and April that nothing's happened. Oh my God, it's never gonna happen. Just ease up, folks. Ease up, folks. But anyway, we will see you all on the flippity dippity.
Oh yeah, baby.
Oh yeah.
Boo.